Hello, I'm Dr. Dave, and this is my podcast. With me today is Dr. James Marlatt. He is the co-editor of the book that we are examining, Deathworlds to Lifeworlds, Collaboration with Strangers for Personal, Social, and Ecological Transformation. Dr. Marlatt provides teaching support to the Fielding Graduate University School of Leadership Studies and is an occasional adjunct professor for the University of Virgin Islands Creative Leadership and Innovative Change program. He is an Institute for Social Innovation Fellow at Fielding Graduate University and is an active research member in the Somatics, Phenomenology, and Communicative Leadership Learning Community. Dr. Marlatt earned his doctorate in human and organizational systems, specializing in phenomenological coaching inquiry as a vehicle for transformative learning. Dr. Marlatt is a dual careerist. He founded or co-founded several companies: Marlatt Coaching and Consulting, Raven Minerals Corporation, and GeoTotal Group. He is a contributing author to chapters in the edited volumes Expressions of Phenomenological Research, 2017, Fielding Scholar Practitioner, Voices from 45 Years of Fielding Graduate University, 2019, and Innovations in Leadership Coaching, Research, and Practice. He is, as I mentioned, the co-editor of Deathworlds to Lifeworlds, the book that we are looking at today. He has also co-authored the paper Transformative Phenomenology as an Antidote to Technological Deathworlds, and was the lead author for the contribution Transformative Phenomenology in the Sage Encyclopedia of Sociology of Religion. Please welcome with me Dr. Jim Marlatt. This book is one of a line of publications around transformative phenomenology. So, Jim, my first question for you is, what is transformative phenomenology and why does it matter?
Transformative phenomenology is a movement that originated with David Rehoric and Valerie Bentz, who are professors at Fielding Graduate University. Over 20 years of research with doctoral students at Fielding Graduate University, a type of phenomenology arose which was impactful to the students. In fact, the students experiencing this phenomenology were transformed as a result of it. So, big word, phenomenology. What is phenomenology? It's the study of phenomena. So transformative phenomenology is focused on the study of phenomenology using from three perspectives. It's the study of phenomenology from somatic or embodied awareness perspective, taking our whole body into the study of a phenomena, using our head, heart, and gut, and listening to our body. It also involves reflection, reflective interpretation of meaning. This is another aspect of this type of study of phenomena, and fundamentally phenomenology itself, which is about looking beyond the take it for granted in the world around us. We call that the life world, which is the world of everyday life. The world of everyday life is different than the world of science, the world of perspectives that are drawn by theory and other forms of thought. Looking at the study of phenomena in the life world, the world of everyday life, we try to recognize how our take it for granted judgments might impair our views of the world, and then step forward to maybe raise our own consciousness, raise our self-awareness for a better world around us. So transformative phenomenology is all about action based on these principles, these long principles, aged principles of philosophy coming from Edmund Husserl and other philosophers over 100 years. So this is maybe a background to what we call TP is, David.
Let me dig just a little deeper on one thing that you mentioned there, somatics and the body. When I think of scientific investigation, I don't typically think of the body playing a role, except as it might support my mind in its intellectual pursuit. Now, could you tell me a little more? How does the body play into this?
Yeah, the history of philosophy, the history of the world, even from the time of Plato, the mind and the heart and the gut were kind of divided. And certainly when we get to the Renaissance or Descartes' time, there was a greater division between the mind, the head, the heart, and the gut. Now, the Eastern religious traditions, the philosophical traditions, still honored that whole of head, heart, and mind. But in the West, the mind kind of took off and left the body behind. So our common approach in our scientific approach in today's world is we kind of don't listen to our felt sense of things. Our body is constantly reaching out and talking to us. We have an emotional reaction. We may not honor that and acknowledge that as information coming to us to make an informed decision in the life world, where we're, this is the only place where we can create better social worlds. So somatics is an approach to bringing back the body, join the mind through embodied awareness. So this is the element of somatics that is conjoined with reflection and the study of phenomena in our view of transformative phenomenology.
Very good. It sounds as if somatic phenomenology might have a great deal to offer to modern medicine, which wants to answer problems with a pill and not with deeper reflection. But let me go on. You contributed a chapter in which you describe collaboration with strangers as a life world antidote to Deathworlds. Can you unpack this idea that transformative phenomenology acts as an antidote to Deathworlds?
Yeah, well, we found through our research and study with over many years, led by Valerie Benz and David Rehorick in their fielding doctoral programs, but more recently in a research project that brought together students, undergraduate and graduate students from 4 universities around the world, Fielding Graduate University, University of Virgin Islands, and the University of Łódź, Poland, and the Erasmus Institute, that people who recognize, take steps into reflecting on their personal experiences through the lens of transformative phenomenology, surface relics of Deathworlds in their lives. This might be the deep psychological mirrors from their early childhood, or from their current relationships, or with their encounters with ecological destruction and other death worlds around them. So the consciousness raising occurs through the study of transformative phenomenology to surface these recognition of these death-worldly experiences that are around us. On a broader scale, we are encountering death worlds daily. COVID is an example of a death world. It's a term we use to describe an area of meaning in our life world that we can enter and are affected by this, because death worlds of climate change, death worlds of people in the world who are being expelled from places like Somalia, or being living in conflict zones, very human side of people who are working in these areas. The plight of animals in our planet. So our constant exposure to the problem with reaching 1.5 or 2 degrees C raise in temperature in our climate, our legacy to our children. So death worlds are around us. We look at the antidote of transformative phenomenology as raising awareness, helping people to raise awareness about their personal, social, ecological concerns through transformative phenomenology that leads to personal transformation so that people can take action to create a more livable world. So It's a concept that really in our book, Deathworlds to Lifeworlds, collaborating with strangers for individual, social, and ecological transformation. The concept and the idea is that by increasing self-awareness, it allows individuals to be more prepared to take positive action, to create a positive change in their world, and that's quite transformative.
You know, the whole notion of Deathworlds, the very term really grabbed me when I first read it. And I did ask this of Dr. Bentz when she was on the podcast with me several weeks ago. How should one think of Deathworlds?
Yeah, I think that we hear the term death world, and for many people, it's quite a shocking term. What do you mean we're living in a death world? And it's almost repulsive to some. But the strategy is, or the thinking is, that if we don't acknowledge the death worlds around us, if we have our blinders on, we don't look at beyond the taken for granted attitude that is constantly bombarding us from the news feed or from public opinion, and beyond that, if we do not acknowledge the death world situation first, we can't move forward to search for solutions for a more livable life world. So I think to think about death worlds as more of an alert. It's an alert. Wake up. We want people who are actors in the world, from everyday man up to senior leaders in the world, to wake up to the plight of death worlds around us, which are myriad. They are absolutely myriad around us. And through the methods of phenomenological exploration and social philosophy, we can take action by being more cognizant about what is really happening, the essence of what is really happening out there, beyond the barrage, and moving forward to find a solution. So there's a public scholar, her name is Saskia Sassen, who wrote a nice book called Expulsions, where she looked at the way the world capitalist system is driving people out of their homelands, creating death worlds in places due to war and famine and conflict. And her comment is, we should make these areas visible, raise awareness of them, and focus on them. Keep them in sight. Take the blinders off. And as a result of sustained awareness, perhaps we can find entry points to find solutions. But the first step is, yes, we do have death worlds. What are we going to do about it? One antidote may be developing a phenomenological attitude to become aware of them and take steps to create a more livable world.
Thank you. This book has examples of experience that cross a very broad range. There's a wide array of human experience represented in the chapters in this book. I'm just wondering, what did you find particularly satisfying in writing and editing this book?
Well, the book itself is comprised of some 15 to 20 chapters written by students from those universities I mentioned earlier, scholars, and alums from field and graduate universities. So the gratitude appeared on maybe two fronts. One is the diversity of topics that students who engaged in phenomenological thinking, transformative writing, essentially writing about their experiences, their lived experiences of these areas, brought to light. Shocking, sometimes joyful, sometimes concerning, revelatory, all the way from walking with homeless persons in Poland, understanding how homeless people live on the streets, to the phenomenology, the study of phenomena, study of trash, how trash is impacting the environment, again, in Poland, looking at all kinds of things, the death of a son, the being expulsed, how the nomadic sheep herders in Mongolia are being affected by mining operations, how the environment in the Amazon is being impacted by industrialization and resource exploitation, and on and on. So the diversity of significant issues that people are addressing, I found to be quite profound, quite moving, and this process gives a voice to that. And as a result, we're pushing the book out to the world so that people can see, yeah, you know, we all have these deathworldly echoes in our lives that we need to talk about. And the second thing is how healing occurred through the collaboration with each other, through the phenomenological lens, to discuss and to emote and to feel the presence of these phenomena through powerful writing and conversation. Recognize that we're not alone out there with our deathworldly echoes, if I call them, and we can take steps through collaboration to ultimately move forward and find solutions for individual, social, and ecological transformation. So those are a couple of things that I found to be very rewarding with regard to the book, and working with all the fantastic authors and associates and editors as well. So.
Well, the book covers a lot of ground, and I'm just wondering, what is the central message in Deathworlds to Lifeworlds?
Yeah, I think the one of the central messages is that by talking about our particular dilemmas through the lens of phenomenology, looking beyond it, take it for granted, essentially, we can get to the essence of the nature of the phenomena. And by getting to the essence of the nature of the phenomena, we are personally more well informed, but by getting it out there into the world, we get to the nitty-gritty of what's really going on out there, beyond all the scientific, yet important knowledge. We're getting beneath that to the crutch of the problem, which is our problems arise from problems of social interaction. So I think the Deathworlds to Lifeworlds book is intent on providing a method, describing a process that anyone can engage with. You don't need to be anything but willing to engage with this and writing or talking about your dilemma through a structured process that will lead to opportunities for, again, personal, social, and ecological transformation. So that is, I guess, part of the hope of bringing this out into the world.
Now, what I heard from that was getting to the essence of issues. Let me read something to you from one of the chapters that you wrote, and it's about transformation. One of the surest signs of transformation is surprise. When a phenomenological writer hits upon an astonishing discovery that was completely unforeseen, but welcome, freeing, empowering, it fills one with a quiet, satisfied sense of interpersonal accomplishment. That's one way to describe the recurrent transformation phenomenologists undergo. It is the well from which they draw sustenance. My question is about the first sentence there. one of the surest signs of transformation is surprise. Could you talk about that for a moment?
Yeah. There's many qualities of transformation that emerge when you engage in this type of phenomenology, study of phenomena again from these perspectives, and one of them is all about asking, well, what's going on here? What's this all about? This is a question of perpetual, if you can maintain the intensity and are aware of at that moment, what is really going on here? What's this all about? Not adopting a critical attitude of, oh, you're right or you're wrong, exploring the whatness of it, but from a point of view of curiosity and wonderment. So the wonderment is the big thing, the perpetual, as long as you can maintain it, attitude of the wonderment about what's going on here. There's some amazement going on here. Once you catch that drift or that perfume or that essence, you can't go back, because you may catch yourself saying, well, hang on now. The conventional thinking is this, but what is going on here? So it's that wonderment, that curiosity, and certainly one of the originators of transformative phenomenology, David Rohorick, for example, is all about that, and it is a linchpin to recognizing transformation, among other things. And a few of the other qualities that might emerge is being authenticity. Another one is focusing on collaboration, being open to collaboration with others. All of these things are among 10 or 11 can lead to transformation or transcendence. It's not a clear linear path here. This is something that emerges through the study of phenomenology. You develop a phenomenological attitude. So.
Okay, now I'm understanding that some of my questions in this podcast are very focused. I'm going to open it up to a very broad question with a broad speculation on your part, and that is by asking, if everyone in the world read this book today, what kind of dialogue would we all be having 5 years from now?
I think that the idea, the life world, the world of everyday life, which we exist in, is one where the only place, it's before all the social theorizing, all of that, is the only place where we have the opportunity to create better social worlds. So if everyone in the world, in this thought experience, could be exposed to phenomenological writing and reflection and develop somatic awareness, I think that the dialogue would be dialogue as opposed to conflicting us, them positions. We become we instead of you, they. We would become unified, and I think that phenomenological attitude is the essence of moving forward on trajectory to build self-awareness, and ultimately to be not so I guess condescending or judgmental in our interaction with each other. I think that's probably the basis of what I see and where we could go with this. And the testimony to this is there are numerous transformative phenomenologists who are taking this into their practice in all kinds of ways, building social institutions, executive coaching, all kinds of psychological counseling, all kinds of forms of activities are founded on this, are moving forward and creating better worlds.
So you're saying, if I hear you right, that the book is contributing to empowering people to avoid conflict before it even arises. Is that right?
I think that's a potential, because you become aware of your prejudgments. Phenomenology, transformative phenomenology and social phenomenology founded on the philosophers is much about taking the blinders off. David Rohrik would use a word of removing the cataracts, so you can clearly see. And I think that those are good metaphors to see what's going on before you act.
Well, we certainly need
you engage, especially on everyday or highly complex decisions or senior political decisions. If you act before you contemplate, before you reflect on those actions in a more holistic way, I think that's a sign that we're going down the wrong road. So.
Very good. Is there anything I overlooked that you would add?
No, I think that's about it. I would say that don't let the words confuse the message of phenomenology. It is essentially looking beyond the take it for granted through methods that work, and I hope that this works for the audience, and go have a look at the book.
Great. Thanks, Jim, for making time for this podcast. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.